What's up, folks? I just finished Death Stranding 2. And man, has it been a wild ride. Before I even get into talking about it, I'm going to give my review. I know the reviews for this are kind of all over the place. I would probably give it a B minus. It would, to me, it'd be right at a 80 on my teacher scale. It it's got a lot going for it, but there's something big that kind of really keeps me from wanting to push it into an A. I'll start off. Let's talk about some of the good parts. First, this game looks absolutely amazing. I'm talking about everything about it. The production value looks so good, especially when you go into some special worlds. Every now and then, you kind of go through this, I'll just say, portal, and you go into these other worlds where you're kind of fighting a boss all through them worlds. You may have seen it. I've seen the fire one where they got them spinning wheels and fires going everywhere and the lighting effects. The special worlds are absolutely awesome. The fire effects look so good. There's one that kind of has water in it, and you got the water physics. You're jumping higher in it. You can see Norman Reedus's hair just kind of floating. They nailed them special worlds. I guess because they're contained, they were able to really go into great detail. But even the even the overall game looks good. The overworld looks good. There are some jaw dropping mountaintop experiences in it. I've shared a couple of those on some of my social media channels. Like, you're up on top of a mountain, and you got a moon on one side, and it looks like a supernova or something's on the other side, and just the way the lighting's coming off of the snow, it just this is one of the best looking games. Sorry, it's one of the best looking games I've probably ever seen. It really looks that good. Uh, Even just the normal mundane stuff. I probably watched Norman Reedus drink, I don't know how many energy drinks, and I would watch it because it looked so realistic. You could even hear him, kind of drinking it. I watched him eat an apple, and I watched it. I watched him eat this apple. You could hear the crunch. The sound design is awesome too. You could hear the crunch of it though, and him eating it. And I watched me eat that whole apple. And then I watched him try to throw it in a garbage can, and he keeps missing over and over again. It's just so realistic. And there's a couple of times, and in a couple of the cutscenes, it almost doesn't look like a video game anymore. It looks like it's really those actors. There's one, it kind of goes a little black and white, and I don't know if the black and white did it, but it looks just like a TV show. So they really nailed really kind of how good the game looks. All right, it is, of course, super weird. Is a very weird type of game. I think that's going to be good for some and bad for some. I actually, if nobody's played it before, I would probably tell them that's probably the main reason to play it. You got to know you're going to see some crazy, just crazy stuff. Like, I watched a puppet who has a soul inside of him do an entire dance routine and sing an entire song. And I sat there and watched these puppets doing that. People will break out singing. I didn't really like this part. People will break out singing out of nowhere in it. I'm talking about, it'll be a serious cutscene, then all of a sudden somebody appears and they do a whole number and just sing it. I hated that. It didn't make no sense to me. He has put music all through this game, from electric guitar battles to again just the random singing. It comes on and they're singing, so there's a lot of that. Some of the music is good though. There was a couple, was kind of getting you. There's a little MP3. You unlock these songs, records, whatever, and you can play them, and a couple of them are really good ones. But it really takes you out of the game when you got a serious cutscene. Then all of a sudden it's just some crazy, and they're crazy, ridiculous songs. Some of them are. And they're dancing and everything. These main characters that are serious, and it just kind of, it took me out of it. You'll get in hot tubs, and all of a sudden Norman Reedus is in there playing around. There'll be rubber duckies around and the little puppets going around singing. It's just, there's a lot of goofiness in it, just a whole lot. And I think some won't like it, some will. It does make it unique, though. That's kind of a Kojima type of thing, but he really goes. He is really, really out there in this one. So that can be good and bad for some. I like a little bit of it, but some of it did. I wish some of the singing, where it was these serious cutscenes, I wish he would have taken some of that out. The other stuff I could kind of handle because a lot of that happens and it's not in the middle of something like something you've done got really invested in. Something else that is awesome about the game is the boss battles and the cut scenes. Man, this thing has the wildest cut scenes I've ever seen in a game. I'm getting excited about it. I know Metal Gear used to have that. They are some of the wildest cut scenes I've ever seen, but you got to go through a lot to get to them. I'm talking about robot samurais fighting the electric guitar axe wielding enemies and doing flips and all sorts of stuff. You got kaiju battles stuff happening in the background with ships flying, and it almost goes Pacific Rim for a little bit in the game. It gets so crazy. There's just so much wild stuff in the game. And of course, Metal Gear is coming out. A lot of the boss fights and the way when you get to use your weapons, it's straight up Metal Gear. The gameplay is great. You're fighting these. It's like these Metal Gear Rex, these Metal Gear robots, but they're twisted up with these, these spirits, and it's just these monstrosities and all the boss. I loved it. I loved every boss fight probably in the game, and a lot of them boss fight cutscenes in the game. Now it sounds like you may be asking, well, where are you getting the 80? It sounds like you need to have it higher than that. Well, to me, the biggest thing that hits it, and everybody won't be this way, but to me, the day-to-day delivering those packages. At first, you're kind of into it. You kind of get caught up in it. But it don't take long, and I'm going to tell you, that gets old really fast. It gets old fast, and then they got you when you get to the end. You start out, you're just going from one place to the next. It's kind of short, but by the end of the game, you're making multiple trips from one side of Australia all the way to the other side, or even you're going back to to the first map. And it's just, to me, some of that's just it's a slog. It's a grind. And they'll do it where you got a little fast travel in it that helps some, but on a lot of them big ones, something will happen. The ship can't move. For some reason, the tar pits are crazy or whatever they do. But to me, that got old. It got where I almost wish it was more linear and was just doing more of the story. I got really tired of the day-to-day. To me, it got super boring. Mostly, I drove the truck. I got tired of kind of walking and lugging it and trying to keep him right. So I'd put everything in a truck, and it's got a little hook shot on it that'd go out and grab packages as I went. I know some people fall in love with that, and they get addicted to it. They want to unlock all the stars. I couldn't do it. It got really, really boring to me. Again, hey, taking the bases and fighting is fun. Meeting the zany characters, it's fun. But then if you want to level, you level up and you unlock stuff as you meet these people. You can get, I think it's either 4 or 5 stars. Well, the first time you deliver something to them, you usually at least get close to that first star. Sometimes it's 1.5 stars. If you want to start unlocking past that, it's 5. If you want to start unlocking after that third, you got to take so much stuff to them. And to me, it had got where it finally wasn't worth my time, and I wanted to see what happens to the story. And to me, the majority of the time in the game, you're doing that. It ain't the boss fights. It ain't taking the bases, which there is a lot in it. It's delivering packages from one place to the other place. It's just a bunch of fetch quests. Except the fetch quest ain't like an RPG where you can run to one or even jump to the next location. It actually, if you get into the big ship and use that ship to deliver a package, it takes away how many points you get. I don't know how much, but it's a lot because I tried to look at it. And it makes it where if you try to do it quicker, it ain't really going to do it because you're not getting as much points towards your stars. They want you to go from point A to point B, actually walking or riding the little track or riding the truck. And to me, it just got that got a little old for me. I think I put about 45 hours into the game. It's a fairly long game. I wish they'd have knocked a good bit of that down. Like, you ain't got to do but a couple of packages to get the stars. Now, everybody won't be that way. Some people love trying to figure the traversal out and moving things. But that happened to me in the first one. The first game was kind of like that too. So that's why I didn't give it an A. Now it's fun doing it and trying to figure out how to do it. Once you got it though, it's just you're. I ended up just driving everywhere. I didn't even have to get out half the time once I unlocked enough stuff to do it. And you can drive over the mountains. You can do everything in that truck. That thing's pretty sweet. But it did kind of make the game a little more lackluster for me. But as a whole, hey, it's worth doing. I don't know how many people's going to see the end game. The end part is awesome, and that's mostly cutscenes. I think one whole chapter is just a cutscene. It's just a long talking. Kojima's known for that. It lasts, but the last battle is so cool. The stuff that's happening at last battle, I ain't gonna go over it to I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But the stuff that happens, and then the very last thing, and then something crazy happens at the end. It's confusing. You can understand the story, but I'll be honest, some of it don't make no sense. It's I ain't gonna get into that because I don't want to ruin any of that. And some people say I understand it completely. I understand it a good bit, but some of it's so silly and ridiculous. It's just crazy. But overall, I do think it's worth playing. It is an excellent game. I personally, the day to day of the game, just delivering that ain't for me. Uh, I got where I was only getting like 2 stars in most places, 2 or 3. Sometimes I'd get 3, kind of going back and forth. But as far as the story and how good the game looks, I think everybody needs to try it. I'm like, this thing looks awesome. And again, the cutscenes, the boss battles, it's worth it. But there's a whole lot of padding, a whole lot of walking, a whole lot of driving. I'm talking about a whole lot in between all that. But anyways, that's what I think. Anyways, that's what I think about Death Stranding 2. I'd love to hear what y'all think about it. Some of y'all's played it, some of you haven't. It's a whole lot like the first one. If you didn't like the first one, I don't think you're really going to like this one. There are a lot of quality of life improvements. It is a little better than the first one as far as getting around and moving, but it's still a lot of, to me, it's a slog getting from point A to point B. And I hate how they kind of punished you if you wanted to kind of use the fast travel to deliver. But other than that, I'm going to end it there. As always, thanks for watching. Hit in the comments. Let me know what you think about the game, or if you think I'm right or wrong or whatever. It don't matter. Thanks. Y'all have a good one.